Hoorah! I am Dr. Minister Ramon Princ for the Om Institute, Church of Christ Consciousness for Worldwide Hope. It is all about the supreme holiness of the female, rooted in the sacred truth of her sexuality. Welcome to another sermon of Naked Church. This video is speaking on clarification on the last video I did dealing with the Nature Boy guy. There's a few things that I have to clarify, and there's some apologies that I have to deal out. Okay, let me start. First and foremost, I'm gonna start with an apology because I feel like that's in order. I apologize to the viewership for the type of energy that I brought to the video, that video. The reason why it partially happened is because when the information was brought to me, there was a strong energy to it. So in other words, when the people gave me the message to give to him, they were riled up and amped up, and they were, aggressive. Not so much toward me, but just in general, because that's how street guys are. When they get riled up and they ready to go, they yelling and screaming, not even at the right person, or they, amped up. And it wasn't just them two. It ended up being about good 13 people. And, some of the other younger dudes were amped up. They jumping around. They like, let's go. It was crazy. So that got me riled up. And, me coming from that type of background, when I get around that certain type of energy, it somehow sparks something in me. And it has me on wolf mode. So instead of me doing what I know I should have, what I know to do, which is change the frequency, I came back and immediately made the video. When I left there, I came straight to where I was going. I finished going where I was going indoors. I went there, and then I made the video. I was already still on that type of frequency of that aggression and that violence. That's why you see excessive profanity in the video. You hear a lot of hostility. You hear me, talking fast and stuttering and just going crazy. Like I was erratic because I'm in that mode. So I do apologize to the viewership for that, because y'all guys, well, some of you may have been here for that, but that's not what we do here in the Naked Church. We're not here to promote violence against citizens. We're not here to encourage violence against citizens. And I didn't do that in the video. But it feels like that's what I did because of how aggressive I was. I'm really not concerned about that overall situation. The only reason why I made the video is to warn the people that follow him and that continuously go over there. I wanted them to know that if they go over there, or they're already over there, or they're around him, especially coming back to the U.S., that there's a danger to themselves, potentially. So that's what the video was really made for. And part of it was to warn him as well, but I told them that I would. They asked me to, and I told them I would, so I sent them the message. That's why. Okay, next thing. And I apologize again for getting you guys in the comments riled up, because some of you just went really, really, crazy. I was just getting like wild, and I was like, and I'm thinking, for me to be the way that people dislike Nature Boy, for somebody to come out and say something, I don't feel like it would have had. If somebody would have came out and say, "Yo, he used to have," and I'm using an example because people hear stuff and run with it. This is an example. It didn't happen. I'm saying an example. If somebody would have come out and be like, "Yo, he was in America having sex with animals," people wouldn't get so riled up and get mad and angry and be going crazy and cursing and stuff like that. Not cursing, using profanity and stuff like that. and being so aggressive. Like, people were really aggressive about that video. And I'm like, well, all the people that dislike him, why are people so aggressive? And I realize it's the frequency that I put out there. You know, what you put out is what you get back. The universal flux. So that's why I want to apologize. Now, you guys pointed out certain things, and I really respect y'all for being that vigilant and being able to see certain things and observe certain things. I'm glad. One of the things that you guys pointed out is that my voice. Some people was like, "Oh, his voice is annoying as hell," and you're right. But I'm gonna tell you why in a second. Another thing, it all ties in. Then someone else said, um, "Why is he talking so fast? I don't trust him." That's true. I'm gonna tie that in as well. The last thing someone said is, "Why does he always keep sniffing like that?" That's another good observation. All of them tie in together, and I'm gonna explain why. Okay, I'm in New York City. This is currently where I'm residing. New York City has New York State, but New York City specifically has potentially the worst air quality in the USA. Like Flint is known for the terrible water. New York City has terrible air quality. What that means is it's hard to breathe. You could breathe physically, or let me better put this, it's not hard to breathe, it's dangerous to breathe. You'll breathe down and everything will be normal, and then in 15 years you'll have cancer, or you'll have a brain tumor, or you'll have some type of ulcer, or you'll have something related to the air quality. But you won't notice that. You'll think, oh, I've been eating this, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. They're not going to link it to that. But the air quality here is really, really terrible. It's very hard to breathe. And a lot of people have been complaining about this lately, which I may do a video about that. A lot of people are starting to realize they can't breathe here. This is not from now. This has been going on over a decade. So what happened is this. It's been longer than that, actually. Way longer than a decade. But I developed and perfected a style of breathing that filters out the poison that they put here. It's not just pollution. It's specific things that they put here because it's a large city. Any large cities, they have a tendency of spraying it with the chemtrails and doing certain things. So, population control. I develop a style of breathing through the mouth, not the nose. Now, when I'm doing a video like this or talking to someone, it's very hard to breathe and talk at the same time. It's almost impossible because when you breathe, you're taking air in and spit and pushing air out. When you're talking, you're pushing air out. So what I usually do is hold the breath or don't breathe while I'm talking. Then when I'm not talking, I'll breathe in and breathe out and breathe in and breathe out through the mouth. What happens is I've practiced this so much that it's like second nature. But I do a lot of lectures, I do a lot of seminars and stuff like that. Long, I don't want to call them speeches, but I do that, and I do videos. So what happens is the breathing has to be regulated because what happens is when you're talking, you're not breathing. I'm not breathing when I'm talking. So it gets to the end of the way I stop talking, and you hear me gasp for air. Sometimes you hear that. Then other times, while I'm talking, I get so basically I can't breathe while I'm talking. So you hear me go, and what that is the body automatically taking in air out of desperation to breathe. That's an involuntary reaction. All right. Now dealing with the voice, breathing the way I breathe makes me talk really sharp and nasal. My voice used to be a lot deeper, and it used to be a lot smooth, rounded. Now it's really sharp and crisp. That's some of the things I had to sacrifice to filter out this poison that we were in. Now, some people say, well, why didn't you move? and that's a whole nother topic. But I need to be in New York because I need access to people, large groups of people, and I need access to large groups of people who are conscious on a level that I'm talking. I'm not talking about the regular conscious, what they call woke, that you use a little bit of shea butter, you use a couple of little crystals, and I'm not downplaying anybody's belief system, but I'm not talking about what the low level consciousness. And I'm not going. Again, I don't want to use levels. Let's not use levels. Basic stuff that people do. I need to be around people that are scientists. There's a difference between practicing something and just saying, "Oh, this crystal works because it does this and that," but you ain't never went to a laboratory and tested it, or you can't tell me the scientific. Um, you can't tell me the scientific components of that crystal that makes it work the way it works. You just like, I don't need to know. Like, it's kind of like faith, like religion, like God made it like this and that's it. I don't need to really know. In New York City, a lot of like the 5%ers started here. The Ansars, the Ansar law community, which became Dr. York's Nuwabians, different people. So there's a lot of people here that have a lot of heavy knowledge. So I need to be around that. Secondly, I need access to large groups of people because the internet is not my forte. I prefer to deal with people in real time. Less trolling, less, people just there messing up and trying to disrupt or whatever. But anyway, that's why I do things the way I do it. And that's why you don't see me putting out a lot of content, because I really don't like this, because there's no interaction of question and answers. You can ask questions in a comment, but like, we're not gonna have a real dialogue in the comments. So I like real time where a person could just start talking and I could gauge their reaction and different things of that nature. But again, the information I put out is accurate. I've heard people like, World News and different ones, different. Well, most of them didn't even cover it. Most of the people that talk about Nature Boy didn't even cover that. And I myself told me that there's some type of little club thing going on with that. But the World News guy said he didn't believe it, and I don't see why he wouldn't believe it. There's nothing to not believe. But that's, a lot of them have a connection to Nature Boy. They act like they're against him, but they really all working together because he's a bag for them. They getting money, they're monetizing their thing, they building a name or whatever. So my thing is, the information I gave out was accurate, but I apologize about how I gave it out. That's it. Now, as far as this right here, see this? That's my finger. This is just a phone right here. I'm recording a picture off another phone. That's why the screen is cracked. So don't worry about that. Okay, just to let y'all know, because some people like, why is it like that? It's just a picture on the phone. I'm using one phone to record another phone. That's how I get a thumbnail. I don't want to go through the apps and downloads and filling up my phone with apps and all. I'm not doing all that. It's not that serious, and people are not that interested in the information for me to do all that extra work. But again, I definitely apologize for the energy that I came with. And this channel is not about Nature Boy drama. I'm not trying to build a career off this dude. I don't care about it. I got my own following in real life, and my own movement, the Ohm Institute, and also Love Side. So that's what we're doing. This channel